Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is downright terrible. That's probably the narrative that you've heard. Every YouTube video, every Twitter post, every TikTok, it's honestly a trend to hate on BO7 right now. But that also sadly doesn't really give you a good outlook of what the game is actually like. Which is why I set out to put all the noise on this game to the side to give you an objective overview on everything Black Ops 7 Zombies so you can decide for yourself. We're not holding back from talking on the absolute best of the best in this game, but also the absolutely awful aspects that need to be changed. All of this to see if this game is really as bad as people say, or if maybe you've actually been lied to. Now, to put things into perspective, yes, I, like many of you, heavily prefer the classic style of zombies. I always have and I always will, but I'm not going to let that fully cloud my judgment when going into this game. I'm going to try to go in with an open mind. But hey, if there's classic aspects, I'm going to like them. So what all does Black Ops 7 Zombies have to offer here? Well, here at launch, we've got the standard mode with Directed coming here in the near future. We've got Cursed, which is a more hardcore classic experience. We've got Survival, which are simplified versions of the maps. And we've got Dead Ops 4, a top-down or FPS style arcade mode. And of course, we also got to talk on the main map, Ashes of the Damned. And first things first here, we got to talk on the thing that's going to affect every single mode you play no matter what. And that's the HUD. I cannot stress how important this is. It's one of the biggest parts of why you might hear BO7 Zombies sucks, because this is what the game looks like when you see footage of it online. And this is what it can actually look like in-game. And you cannot look at this and tell me this does not look like zombies. But this is what it looks like the second you boot into it. And here is what it looks like when you adjust the settings. This is a huge problem. Yes, the game can look fantastic when you adjust everything, but also like half of the slop should just be off by default. And legitimately, most of these things are like accessibility settings. And this is what you have to keep in mind. Most casuals, 1, don't know you can even change these things, 2, know where to even find them, and 3, are probably just too lazy to do so. And I also can't blame them, because multiplayer and zombies still have a problem between the settings carrying over between both modes, and also for the entire launch window, every time you went into the settings tab, it would reset all of them. We truly just need 2 options there as soon as you boot into the game. Do you want a minimal HUD or a full HUD? That's all we need, a one-click option there as soon as you boot into the game. Come on guys, it's not that hard. But hey, we actually do have some really solid improvements here. We've got HUD themes to actually make it feel more like zombies and more distinct, even though for some reason it's not on by default and you have to, again, go into the settings and change it. But one of the best things is that now you can turn off so many of the annoying elements, like the stupid objective markers, the talking face in the corner of the screen, the gobblegums, the score streaks. 90% of the HUD you can turn off and it feels so good. But here's the thing. The biggest flaw of the modern HUD we still cannot turn off. It's the constant pop-ups of all of the ground loot there at the bottom middle of your screen. No matter what you do with the HUD, it is always on. And it is so unbelievably distracting, and it completely takes you out of the immersion of the map. I just don't understand, first of all, why it's like this when we even had Vanguard have a million times better system there. But Treyarch, please, at least give us the option to disable this. It's unreal. But even with that problem, the game still looks really, really solid when you turn most of the things off or just adjust those settings. And the biggest saving grace of it is actually that a lot of these things are actually off by default when you hop into Cursed mode. But before we hop into that mode, we gotta quickly touch on the overall standard experience and the core game-wide changes to zombies. It's time to talk about the standard mode. And yep, it's more Black Ops 6. Same loadouts, same augments, same field upgrades, same ammo mods, same perks, and even a lot of the same streaks and equipment. Armor, rarity, loadouts, damage scaling, crafting, they're all here too. It is a modern zombies game. And also, yeah, modern point system here too. Personally, I cannot stand it, but for those of you who love it, here you go. These do naturally, at a base gameplay level, make the game feel like more the same, for better and for worse. But thankfully, it is not just this, again, as we'll get to later, but for the main core standard experience, if you like modern zombies, or Black Ops 6 in general, you're gonna like this mode. I think it's a solid introduction for newer players who just might not be as used to some of the classic systems, and they can kind of flow from what the directed mode is, being a slightly easier experience than this, to standard, there into Cursed. But yeah, let's talk on some of the actual core gameplay changes and additions here for the overall experience of zombies. Firstly, the salvage rework. Oh my gosh, the nerfed drop rates and the increased cost makes such a difference here in this game. It actually makes me want to hit the box for ether tools and get a free upgrade on my gun or by doing side quests. And it just makes crafted items feel so much more valuable and actually less spammy. And as I kind of just mentioned, the changes to the mystery box, we've got ether tools in it, but now also there's less crap in the mystery box with no score streaks or melee weapons. And it just feels 10 times better. I actually hit the box in this game. When I've said a million times, and man, it just feels so good, max ammo refilling equipment. I cannot stress enough how good it feels. It's not just good because it's classic, it's just great game design. And in a game that has ammo crates on by default, this actually makes some max ammo exciting again. And there's overall less enemy spam. This just feels a million times better than Black Ops 6 spamming like 100,000 random freaks chasing you down. That shit was awful. And man, it just feels so good. For the most part, on almost every single round, if I go down, it's from the zombies, not getting sniped across the map from some kid in Black Ops 6. And for those who like the grind, the camo grind is actually made a lot better here in this game, and there's also some prestige attachments to go for there as well for like unique things on each gun. But my favorite are the BO2 classic camos there that you can unlock by prestiging a weapon and getting it as like a universal camo. Honestly, I'm just doing this instead of the core camo grind. Another cool change is that there's less super sprinters, where now on higher rounds, armored zombies just cannot super sprint. So they're either going to be tankier or they're going to be faster. But probably my absolute favorite change is the score streak nerf. Score streaks barely ever drop. Most of them are kind of straight up bad. In the absolute menace from Black Ops 6 Zombies that completely soiled the high round gameplay, the mutant injection strategy completely nerfed into the ground. Now it actually takes skill to even utilize and is actually a lot more fun in that respect. It's fun, but not too OP. It's perfectly done. So yeah, this paired with the fact that salvage drops less often too as well, makes them feel so much more impactful and so much more special when you craft them. It's like these changes are small, but they make such a big difference in the gameplay, especially with it fixing one of Black Ops 6 Zombies' biggest issues. But we also got some fun new mechanics. We got Chompy, a little trash can you chunk your stuff into and then he gives you some loot, mostly like salvage or equipment, but sometimes guns and even a ray gun. We also got the TED trials, and these are an upgraded version of the trial system. And the coolest thing about this is that they can reward you with perma-perks if you've got all the perks in the map, and these are just never lost upon downing, and it just adds another really cool fun thing to go for there on higher rounds. And we also got a brand new perk here, Wisp T, which is kind of bad. The base of it is just straight up awful, but the augments on it are pretty cool. You can have it heal you over time, distract zombies, it can even revive yourself, but my absolute favorite is that you can have it hold last zombie, which makes doing Easter egg steps in solo a million times better. We also got fireworks returning from Black Ops 3. It's actually really good, and yeah, honestly just great to have it back. And we also have toxic growth coming back from Cold War Zombies, which is just a really good specialist, and it's ideal for like camping strats or trapping a big elite enemy, but it really shines in this game as it's heavily tied to a side Easter egg on the main map that we'll talk about a little bit later. But there's also some nice quality of life augments there that you definitely want to look into. One of them being a jug augment to combat damage scaling. It makes it so that as soon as your armor breaks, you actually get a 100 HP buff. So it makes it on those higher rounds, when your armor breaks, you're not just instantly dead. You actually have a chance to kind of get away, replay it up, and keep going along in your game. Now, the low rounds are still too easy in my opinion there with damage scaling, but this does help on those higher rounds. And for those who hate armor, we do have that Vulture 8 augment, to where you just casually walk over armor and it auto plates, basically like it did in Cold War Zombies. And I honestly like how it's designed like this because it causes you to have to open up the map and actually make decisions in order to get this functionality. But one of my absolute favorites are the stamina up changes, giving you faster sprint speed in all directions and being able to shoot while sprinting. This is the biggest thing that does make training viable again. It's all because of that Omni movement working really well with that augment, as well as just being able to shoot while I'm sprinting. Man, it feels so good. The only problem is that it just sucks that we have to grind the game for it to be like this. And the augment research is so unbelievably slow, especially for those of you who hadn't played Black Ops 6. There 100% needs to be some adjustments to this. I just don't think this is good for new players. And you know what, since I'm in the mood, let's do some rapid fire good. There's a new feature where you can crush your gums now for points, so basically, hey, if you don't like them, crush them, get some points, cool. Armor now upgrades at the same location, which just feels really great on this map in particular with it being so big. No tac sprint on by default, and this feels so much better. I personally cannot stand tac sprint, and the game just feels so much smoother just without that in mind. When you load into the game, you actually fade in from black, which does a lot for immersion, which actually Black Ops 6 did not have, and it felt really weird. One of my favorite things, and I feel like it's crazy to even say this, the Power Quest is back, and this does so much. It adds more skill to each match, and man, it's just a core part of Zombies. A cool little addition that I personally appreciated was the original round change there for the special rounds. Man, it makes me feel good. I know it's nostalgia, but I love it. And another thing I just can't help but love is the quick revive jingle is back. Now, it seems like there's some licensing issues because it's not the same one, but they basically redid it in like a slightly new style. I think both the new and the old have their own merit, but yeah, I like it a lot and it just feels so good to have it back. Now, with that said, yeah, there's some great changes there, but what really makes this game different than the rest? What makes it special? Well, now it's time we talk on the highlight of Black Ops 7 Zombies, Cursed Mode. And first off, we gotta hop right into the good of this. This is a challenge mode that encapsulates a lot of elements there of classic zombies, where by default you're going to start with a pistol, have minimal UI with no health bars, damage numbers, objective markers, or minimap. Ammo prices overall are increased by 50 to 100%, pack prices have increased by roughly double, and we finally have the classic COD Zombies point system from BO3 and before. But with one small change where shotguns actually work how they do in Advanced Warfare Zombies, where you get points per pellet hit. And we gotta talk about this point system. Man, it feels so good. Hopping into those early rounds, 4 shots to the leg with the pistol, and then knife them to maximize your points. One zombie left, you need to buy a door, just pop it in the leg, and then boom, you're good to go. The strat overall is to get a gun that's great, super high damage, and one that's really good with points. And this drastically improves the game. It actually works so well with the rarity system, making any gun potentially a really good solid point gun. In fact, on slightly higher rounds, I actually get excited to get a green rarity weapon because it's going to be great for points. I did not expect that at all. And it's absolutely insane how much just the point system alone makes this game feel like classic zombies, even with all the modern systems. And it actually makes me enjoy those modern systems more. Like even the multi-pack, even with those upgraded prices, it feels a million times more doable. Being able to swap weapons even on higher rounds. So many times I've just been on a higher round, been like, I kind of want to switch things up. I farm some points, then spin the box, get a new gun, boom, upgrade it all the way. Weapon variety is finally back. I've even had friends maybe lag out or go down on higher rounds and actually pop back into the game, farm some points, and get back up to where they were. Unlike the new system where they're basically shit out of luck. And it just makes those games so much more fun and casual to play. But Curse Mode had done something else. We've got unlocks here. One of them being Pack-a-Punch camos, where as you put on different relics, which I want to get to here in a second, you're going to increase the overall difficulty of your match. And the more you put on, the higher the tier goes up to from 1 to 2 to 3. And with each tier, you get unique gameplay rewards, but also when you do the Easter egg on that tier, you get a unique Pack-a-Punch camo. And man, it just feels so cool to have these. I don't even care that they're not universal. It feels like something I'm proud of and it's fun to show off. And when people see it, they're like, oh, whoa, I kind of want that too. But of course, the biggest things are those core gameplay rewards, of which here we have 3 of them. Tier 1 is gold armor. And this is just a constantly regenerating armor bar. And it makes high rounds so much more fun, and again, more casual there, and it even makes the Easter egg a little bit easier there on Cursed. Overall, this is such a great improvement, especially for those who don't like armor. You pair this with the Vulture Aid augment I talked about earlier, you almost don't even have to worry about replating at all. But we also have Ultra Rarity. And it's cool, it just helps get more damage on those non-wonder weapons. It's good, but it's not great until you pair it with this last one here, which is Tier 4 Pack-a-Punch. Man, this is sick. It truly feels like a significant upgrade. It reminds me of what like the second Pack-a-Punch felt like in IW Zombies. It gives you a cool pack camo, it actually changes the tracers on your gun from red to purple when it's Pack-a-Punched, and it also gives you a huge ammo and damage buff. It just makes those core guns feel even better and wonder weapons feel amazing. It's just so much fun to use, but man, it does cost a lot of points, but honestly, I kind of like that there on the higher rounds. But how do you get these tiers? Well, you have to enable relics. And we actually got a lot of classic ones here, like no ammo boxes, and this feels phenomenal. It's sad that it's so hard to actually acquire this, but man, once you get it, it feels so good on those higher rounds. Actually needing to wait for a max ammo or try and strategize by buying Vulture's Aid to keep your ammo up, or having to buy a wall gun to get ammo consistently. And it even has me just swapping guns temporarily because I'll run out of ammo and have to kill a horde. Another one is the 4 perk limit. And man, I forgot how great it is to actually have to make decisions. And this is desperately needed with the 12,000 perks that we have now. And you can even expand the limit to 5 with side Easter eggs. And it encourages me to do those every single game. And the perks also cycle out when you get more over the limit. So if you've got one that you want to have earlier on in the game, don't want to down yourself to get a new one, you just buy it first and then buy a new perk later on and you're good. We've also got a no self-revives relic, which makes it so that the only real way to get yourself back up is quick revive. And this completely changes solo play. It adds way more tension there to the early game, and it makes it actually super valuable every single time you were to potentially go down. But you can get them, they're just a very rare drop there from some of the TED trials. And like I said, you end up needing to just get quick revive either for Dying Wish or equivalent exchange to save you from death. That is, unless you're running the one that has no augments. And yeah, kind of like back in the day, never had augments, and this really adds another layer of challenge there to the game. But I will say some of these are kind of ass. Like the Mimic one, literally nobody likes it and it's awful and no one likes it. We've also got some crazy fun ones too, like a gun game one that's still yet to be found as of recording this. With that alone just opens up so many cool opportunities, therefore other relics coming down the line. Overall with relics though, the main pool is the hunt. And shout out to Zonex and his Discord because they will go down in Zombies history for doing so much good work on these, as well as all the other folks that helped out as well. It's one of those you had to be there moments, and this will be remembered and talked about for years. And that's just the launch map, as we're gonna have more of these with every single map coming afterwards. And each of these relics are incredibly hidden and cryptic and require us, the community, to find. No help, no directive mode, just us. And they genuinely act how old-style Easter eggs did, where you would just be playing the game and randomly stumble across something, and then it would just start this entire spiral of the community finding more and more and more. Man, if you love that classic Zombies, not just for the gameplay, but for that feeling of just maybe stumbling across anything there at any moment, and that feeling of there's so many secrets and things to uncover, it's back, man, and damn does it feel good. But Curse mode is not perfect, so we gotta talk on some of the bad. One of which being the relic unlocks. To even unlock the ability to unlock relics in the first place, you gotta do the Easter egg. And honestly, I just don't think this is a good decision. Firstly, the boss was insane at launch, which is his own thing, but having such a huge core gameplay element there, locked behind a crazy Easter egg, with having a lot of people just not being able to join the hunt or gain any interest in that system until the Easter egg is done for them, man, it was just kind of frustrating to have to deal with that. And I think it's turned off a lot of casual players who just wanna play the game and not necessarily have to interact with the Easter eggs. I do think that players should be able to equip these, but maybe just have them not count towards that tier meter there, getting those higher rewards. Just pure challenge modifiers. Might be a nice update there in the future. And another thing that's not really that good are the Pack-a-Punch prices, going from 10k to 25k to 50,000 now for the first 3 levels. And it felt crazy at first, but honestly with the rarity system and the ammo boxes, I feel like it kind of works. And it does make Pack-a-Punch and those upgrades feel more valuable. I personally think a great solution to this would actually be to bring the levels down for each tier we go to there in the difficulty. With tier 1 bringing Pack 1 down to 5,000, tier 2 bringing it back down to 15,000, and tier 3 bringing that tier 3 pack down to 30,000 again. And another thing a lot of people have issue with, including myself, is the Akita shotgun. While it's insanely fun, it is the only wall buy and only point gun you will ever need in this game. It's a million times better than literally any other gun in this game, and it's a wall gun. So no matter what relics you have on, you're gonna get it guaranteed, and you can buy ammo for it over and over and over again. I think it either needs to be box exclusive or nerfed a ton. And here's one I really have a lot of issue with, the 4 perk limit. Now the problem here is that so many side Easter eggs give you a free random perk, but these do not increase your limit of perks, but instead cycle them. Although Perkaholic does work and so does completing the quest. This should not be a thing. And no, it's not because it's just quote-unquote classic, it's because this is worse game design. I actively avoid entire gameplay systems due to this when I have it on. Any side Easter egg where there's random perks that I can get from like a TED trial or something else, I just completely avoid them. And hey, if my friend's popping on the house there during that game, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm gonna end up losing my Juggernog. I would be more encouraged to do these side Easter eggs and they would feel even more rewarding if they exceeded this limit. And no, this isn't gonna make the gameplay the exact same because I can't just go to the Wonder Fizz, buy all my perks no matter what. This takes time and skill. And hey, you know what? If you go down, you lose all that again and you have to go and get it back. It just works. Again, not because it's classic, but because it's good game design. And to write things off like this just because, oh, it's supposed to be a challenge mode. That is not how we make these games better. Let's have an actual discussion on this at a core game design level. And you know what? If you got an argument against this, please let me know down in the comments. And a big thing that a lot will bring up with Curse mode that could very likely be addressed here in time are the lack of certain relics, like no armor, no rarity, no crafting specialist, gobblegums, or even early damage scaling nerfs. But we know even with this next map with DLC 1, we're getting 6 already. And there's a good chance we could see some of these there, or even just in all the other maps coming later down the line. There's so much potential here with these. What's probably the most common complaint I've heard on Curse mode, and I think is the most valid and just objectively horrible, is that you can't play it in public matches. There is no reason not to have this. Just make it so that if you have no relics on, you can search with squad fill on. It's just that simple. There's so many casual players who love playing public matches, and Cursed would be perfect for this. I learned so many of the little quirks of these systems back in the day through playing public matches. That whole thing of shooting them in the foot and then knifing them there on the early rounds, being sure to knife them on insta-kill, and doing those little side Easter eggs to increase my perk limit. And with the relics, I get it, that would make it hard to queue for certain ones. But the base gameplay there, that should just be something you could search for. And hey, maybe even those randoms can help you find some of those tier 1 relics to then get you excited and interested in knowing about these mechanics to then look for them yourself. Man, this needs to happen. And overall, this mode is so much fun. It has absolutely saved the core gameplay of this game for me, and a ton of other people there as well. And like I've said, it's insane how much the classic gameplay relied on no loadouts, minimal HUD, and the old point system. Even with stuff like armor and rarity, It just teleports me back to the days of like Black Ops 3, man. And you throw in a perk limit, no ammo boxes, no self-revives on top of it, and it just feels fantastic. Not to mention all the other quest rewards and other relics there to go for. It just adds an insane amount of replayability that is unmatched by almost any other Zombies game. And that has been the core issue with modern Zombies for years. It's just not been replayable. No matter how good these maps are, if the core gameplay is not replayable, it doesn't matter. But I can finally say, due to Cursed Mode, I genuinely have been struggling to put this game down. I just wish it was available in survival mode. And speaking of which, survival. This is returning here from Black Chops, the second one, and these are smaller bite-sized versions of the bigger maps. And so, what do we got here? There's no main quest, no side Easter eggs or anything like that. Just got the box, wall buys, pack, Wonder Fizz, your boy Chompy, crafting, armory, and traps. It also seems like we're going to have one-off special enemies here as well, just to kind of make it feel more unique. And this overall was a necessary addition. It's just, if we're going to go crazy on the main map, we need a fun, casual map for people to kind of just hop into, grind camos, whatever it might be. And it's a great place for newer players. It's basically the Black Ops 3 formula. For every Shadows of Evil you got, you need a Doris. The thing is that it's just not perfect for me. I really wish that there was actual perk machines here. They just added a lot of personality to the older survival maps, and I honestly just think that Wonder Fizz is a lazy solution to this. I think we should at least have 4 perk machines there, even if it's not like all 12 or whatever. And another thing is that I just hope other maps help distinctify them a little bit more. Where we know we're gonna have like the diner and like the Ascension area from the main map, and man, wouldn't it be cool if we had unique wonder weapons for each of those? Like maybe we've got like a Wonder Waff there on the Ascension one, kind of a nod back to BO1, or the jet gun from BO6 being thrown onto the diner one. Again, a nod over to Transit. And imagine if we had different round changes too, like the Ascension one had the one from Chronicles, and Diner had the classic COD Zombies round change. Come on, that would be so cool. I really hope they end up doing that. But we got a huge problem, is that you cannot play these in Cursed Mode. I have no idea why they didn't do this, but it has to happen because I have literally not played these ever since Curse came out. I cannot go back to the standard experience. And so for me, they've pretty much become obsolete, and I think they have already for a lot of other fans as well. But thankfully, they are looking into this. It just needs to happen ASAP. But there's also something here in this game that is a ton of fun that some even prefer over the core gameplay of Zombies, and that's Dead Ops 4. And here we have a ton of different versions of the mode, where we've got a casual, a normal, and a hardcore one coming as well, with a top-down and first-person version of each coming alongside with them. And it's just a ton of fun. They went full roguelike with this, with multiple paths and different randomized upgrades, and the boss fights are insane in this one too. And the one-off challenge rooms are just as crazy as they've ever been. It feels like an entirely different game with entirely different games in the game. It might even be my favorite rendition of Dead Ops. It's just pure fun. And also, Gobblegum's working this now too, with just providing random effects. So if you don't like him in the core Zombies, then maybe give him a go here. And you can even earn XP and Gobblegums and stuff here in Dead Ops. It even works with save and quit. Man, just a big old thumbs up for me. And now, while we've hit on some of the bad, there's quite a lot of good we've hit on there as well. But before we hop into the launch map that connects 90% of this game together, we gotta go over some of the just straight up indefensible aspects of this game. Hopping into the bad. Firstly, the menu is ass. This is more important than you think. This is why people say, quote unquote, this is not Zombies. It's because of shit like this. The core of the gameplay when you're in it and fully just immersed is great, and it feels more like Zombies than anything we've had in the past decade. But it's impossible to truly see that when you hop into the game and the menu looks the exact same as multiplayer. And then you pop into your first game and it looks like this. Honestly, shout out to Smokey over there on Twitter who creates these phenomenal versions of more zombified menus on the modern games, and it just does so much. It's just those simple little things. We don't need people walking around like a MP. Like, what is the point? Literally, just have them stand there in a location from Zombies with zombies there, or at least walk around in a Zombies map. Please, just update this like you did with Cold War Treyarch in the later seasons. Another thing that kind of just is really annoying is that there's no music player. And this sucks because of how much great music is actually here in Black Ops 7 Zombies, especially with having multiple menu tracks for both multiplayer and Zombies. It really should be a thing. And another thing that adds to that not Zombies feeling is the lack of a loading screen. Again, this is one that I just think sucks. Even Vanguard did this. It's just, why can we not continue with that? It's a small thing, but it's one of those things that plays into that immersion. When I click into a map, I don't want to get hit with a giant wall of text. It especially doesn't feel good when multiplayer doesn't even have that crap. I know there's the ability to set loading screens there in the game, but it applies it to the entire game. So that means all the Zombies maps and all the multiplayer maps. It's just stupid. And another thing that's just straight up bad is the delayed and drip-fed content. I've touched on this before and I'm still not a fan of it. We've got a lot of great content here at launch, but holding off off on those other survival maps, field upgrades and ammo mods there from Black Ops 6 being delayed to Season 1, it just doesn't feel good on the player side. And we've even got those FOMO LTMs back again, which that's a conversation for another day, but man, I cannot stand that. That's genuinely awful. And another thing are the operators. We still have duplicates and people playing non-crew operators, and it just feels even worse in this game because, as we'll get to later, the writing is actually fantastic. And there's so much dialogue here. If you don't care about the crew or the story of this game, it's likely because of this. Remember back in the day when you would pop into the game and you would hear the crew talking to each other, giving you interesting pieces of lore and kind of insights of the characters? Remember when you felt interested and intrigued by just playing the game and wanted to then maybe look into it more? Yeah, that basically never happens now because you're playing on a team, you got some random goober running around from multiplayer using his $30 vault skin, and then you and your other teammate are just both ricked off it. If you want that in standard, it's fine. It is what it is. But we need a client-side option to maybe have this, or at least something in Cursed to where we can force it on for a squad that joins us. It's a private match, so just let it be in the host hands. How about that? And one of the things I really just can't stand is that we gotta work for the game to be enjoyable. And this is not just for the crew operators like I just mentioned, having to beg people to actually go different operators to get the full experience. But it's also like I mentioned earlier with the HUD, having to change and turn off 50 different settings. Why is it not even the Zombies HUD by default? I don't understand. But we also have to grind for something like the shield system, or to aid in the annoying damage scaling on higher rounds. We gotta beat a boss to have the ability to even find relics to just disable base mechanics. And in Cursed mode, to get stuff like the perk limit, no ammo boxes, stuff like that, you gotta do so much to get these. And casual fans don't always want to just have to go and grind the Easter eggs and grind the game. And like I said before, I really think these should just be toggleable there without having to beat the Easter egg. Maybe just without the reward part. The HUD, just a simple pop-up when you boot into the game. Minimal or full HUD experience. And man, for the augments, they're just way too slow. They need to be buffed up for those newer players. I get it for those who maxed out Black Ops 6, but man, for those newer players, it needs to be increased. And this one, a lot of people are probably a lot more divided on, but here's my stance on it. No carry forward. Now, I am of the belief that we do not need full carry forward in this game like we would have. I think all those weapons being thrown in MP is a balancing nightmare. Seeing goofy skins running around in Zombies and MP just would be awful. And even having all those guns in the roster of the Zombies loadouts or the mystery box just completely overbloating things and carrying over that same meta as last year, really think a lot of that, best to not have it. But man, some of these classic guns should 100% carry over. Black Ops 6 had the MP40, Olympia, the FAL, FAMAS, PPSH, absolute classics from Zombies history that deserve to be here. And most of these are known for being great from the old point system, which we finally have back. And this is a BO2 spiritual successor that did exactly the same thing. The classic FAL, M1911, M14, Olympia, MP40, all carried over from Black Ops 1 into Black Ops 2 that weren't even in MP at all. They were just in the box or on the wall. And the solution isn't to just add these into the loadouts, because then they would be completely inaccessible in Cursed mode. There should just be a few of these classic guns thrown on the wall or in the box on each map. And by doing that, it's not going to overbloat everything, and they're not going to overpower the BO7 guns, but they would also make each map feel that much more special and more unique. But the absolute worst part of this game by far, you probably know what it is here, is always online. Became a thing in Black Ops 6, and it's still a huge issue here in Black Ops 7. Especially when I'm doing an Easter egg there in solo, get booted from the servers, boot back in, and then immediately booted out, completely wipes my save. Or even getting to the last phase of the boss in a 2-hour-long game to then lose all of that time and all the gobblegums that you used. It truly needs to stop being a thing. Thankfully, we still have Save and Quit, that being one of the best additions ever made to the series, but this has gotta go. I get that it's too late here for this game, but if we have this again in the future, it's just completely and utterly indefensible. And before we move on, I gotta say as well that this video has been one hell of a project. Grinding out the game to experience everything it has to offer, making sure I cover all the arguments, and finally editing everything together here to give you the best overview I can. So hey, if you're enjoying this and you want to support me and see more videos where we can go over both the good and the bad of all things COD Zombies, we're on the road to 10K, so feel free to subscribe. But yeah, getting back into things, all those negatives that I just talked on, they really suck, especially always online. But man, there's so much good here too. The core game itself is just so fun and replayable, with an unreal amount of content here already. But here's the question you're all probably wondering at this point. How's the launch map? Ashes of the Damned. Well, I never thought I would actually say this, but yes, as a huge classic fan with a general distaste for 90% of the modern Zombies maps, Ashes of the Damned is what I believe to be the first true S-tier zombies map since the days of Black Ops 3. And the reason I had to touch on all those negatives just now is because I'm about to praise the living shit out of this map, as it completely blew my expectations out of the water on almost every single front. Let's talk Ashes of the Damned. This is a spiritual successor to what many consider the worst map of all time, Transit. And now the first thing that you'll notice when hopping into this map is that we're in the dark ether. And so we gotta talk about the visuals and audio here. This looks and sounds otherworldly. It's like terrifyingly beautiful. Random structures that just don't make sense just plopped in from alternate realities, with each location having its own little story. It's got some of the most varied visuals than any map I've ever seen. We got the traditional just front lot of Janus Towers, the spore-infected sections of the fog, the cozy cabin there with a big-ass triangle chilling in the sky, the farm from Transit, the also diner from Transit, and even Ascension just plopped in here just for no reason. They're all absolutely fantastic, and they're all connected by that center point here, Ashwood, a buried inspired town with many nods to what would later become stores there in Shadows of Evil from Black Ops 3. All of these visually distinct with their own draw and reasons to go to that part of the map. And also we've got random core mechanic updates in terms of the visual department, with like the Origins mystery box being here, and the ammo box is finally looking like zombies. Love this stuff. And hey, even when you do call in a score streak, it at least gets portaled in from the other dimension there, so it at least kind of feels a little like zombies. There is great ambience on the audio front, and just in terms of like the background ambience and little music cues there, and just the pure sound design of everything, especially when going through the fog. And I can't move on from talking on the audio without mentioning this Easter egg song, which is by far one of the best we have ever had. 𝘿𝙤𝙤𝙢𝙀 is back, and her and Kevin Sherwood absolutely kicked ass with this one. But you know what? Let's talk about what really matters, and that's the core gameplay. Now, in order to get around the map, we've got our old friendly fellow, Ted. We have to find in the main lot and then go and install him into Old Tessie, the Cybertruck. And this is going to be our main form of transportation, having to drive ourselves to each location. And yes, you have to turn on the power for these, which afterwards you unlock more transportation, being the DE-inspired launch pads, which are just a great fast travel here, and it's something that the original Transit needed desperately. But the Cybertruck's got some more sleeves up its trick, as through a little secret unlock where you decimate an innocent man, steal his key, go and open his secret stash, you can get an Abomination head that you can then upgrade on Tessie and then have her shoot beams. It's fantastic for taking down hordes and bears, and also it's great for finding some secrets there as well. And actually, speaking on the bears, the new enemies, we've got the Ravagers, which are just these little gremlins that run around the map. They can steal your stuff. They're pretty cool. I like them. But the bears, man, again, like I said before, with the enemy design changes, they feel so good. And they're just so fresh to have something like this. It feels like nothing we've had before in zombies. But back to the Wonder Truck, the coolest upgrade is by far found during the main quest, the DG2 turn. Slapping a Wonder Waff there on the top, which can just take down entire hordes. Yeah, freaking sweet. And during the Easter egg, we actually get access to our boy Klaus from Cold War Zombies mode. Basically, he just acts like a civil protector from Shadows, helps you kill the zombies, and can even revive you, because yeah, definitely know you're gonna need it. But the highlight here for the gameplay, aside from stuff like the Mark II and the ray gun being back, we've got another wonder weapon on this map which might be one of my favorites of all time, and that being the Necrofluid Gauntlet. This bad boy is just cool as hell. You fire the main shot that shoots spikes that you can then recall, and it comes back and it damages the zombies again. You can even use it to pick up drops and power-ups there as well. You can also melee the crap out of the zombies and kind of steal back health, kind of like a vampirism ability, and it can even overheal you. But of course, the coolest one is once you pack-a-punch it, you gain the ability to suck in the shots that you fired and create a big old explosion where they were at. And also, I forgot to mention, this is an infinite ammo wonder weapon. So yeah, this thing just rocks. And hey, you're definitely gonna need it for the main quest. I am personally of the opinion that this quest is damn near perfect, and is maybe the best designed Easter egg since Black Ops 3 or maybe even Black Ops 4. It's long and hard at first, later striking a perfect balance where it's hard to find but easy to learn and master. There's a ton of parts to collect around the map that are hidden but not impossible to find, cryptic puzzles that are really fun to solve that end up becoming pretty easy there once you got a simple cheat sheet, and it all culminates in either one of the best or worst bosses of all time, depending on who you ask. For me, the boss is super cool. I love the design of the like it's looking straight out of something like Doom. And having it based around the Cybertruck is a ton of fun. The problem is that it launched and it was way too hard. It wouldn't be a big deal, but the thing is that relics were locked behind this. So this had to be adjusted. If that wasn't the case, I would be totally fine with this staying pretty difficult. But I do think it needs to be easy now so that we're able to have people actually experience like half the game. But there's also so many fun moments along the way here. Like the lightning strike step where you stop time over at the diner, solving and then doing the blood ritual step, and then the throwback to launching the rocket over at Ascension that plays the leitmotif of the launch theme from 𝘿𝙤𝙀𝙀. As they say, pure hype moments in Aura, and I love it. And even that mid-Easter egg cutscene, that was sick to see there as well, and it also helps just because these characters are great, which I do want to get to here in a second. But with the hunt itself, it was actually a 10-hour Easter egg hunt, and that's something we've not had in a while. It felt, again, just like the good old days. It might be just the perfect length of a hunt there, and it was super hyped seeing everybody try and complete this there the first day, because afterwards, when the first team beat the main quest, that's when we unlocked curse mode for the entire game. And you know what else is sick? For the first time in so long, we have a unique announcer, not just for this map, but it actually changes after we kill him there in the boss fight after the main quest. And the last time I remember this happening was like BO1's Moon. Man, it's just so cool to see. But you know what might be the most shocking thing about this map that I've kind of alluded to here is that the story and the dialogue and the cutscenes of this game are genuinely fantastic. Now these are what make a zombies map and an Easter egg feel even better. These cutscenes are awesome. They're super high quality. The writing has gone up 1,000 times in terms of like just likability and overall intrigue for these characters and overall story. It's like, man, these cutscenes, they get me so interested, and these characters are so fun with how they bounce off of each other, even with there being 8 of them. Yeah, there's 8 characters here. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but they did it. All the dialogue between all of them is entertaining or compelling. They all have good chemistry bouncing off of each other, and there's just so many good quotes here too. We got the entirety of the Black Ops 6 cast, but also 4 new but also old ones, being the original crew from back in the day being brought back once again. They might even be my favorite rendition so far. And hey, these are all torn from different universes, with Tank Dipsy feeling great as ever, torn from the Vietnam War, Nikolai being torn there from Afghanistan. He's a little bit sobered up, he's got a bit of a sadness to him, I like him. We've got Takio, who was actually torn from 1591 Japan, and man, he feels great. He's no longer, unfortunately, voiced by Tom Kane, but now he's voiced by a new voice actor, Nelson Lee, who actually does a really good job. He's continuing on the legacy, but he's also making it a bit of his own as well. And man, he just feels super refreshing. He's so likable, and he has great lines that are revolving around the fact that he's from 1591. He doesn't know what half this modern crap even is. But of course, we've got the GOAT, Dr. Edward Richtofen, being torn from a reality where Germany won World War II. And yeah, he's just an absolute menace. Nobody likes him, he doesn't like anyone else, and he just feels like he was in Black Ops 1, but even more of a crazy asshole. And after the complete clusterfuck that was the end of Black Ops 6 Zombies, the writing team, which I believe now has Craig Houston back at the helm, which if it's true, is really felt, they somehow did it. This map, the universe, the characters, I care about it all again. And their individual quotes are funny and they're interesting exactly how they should be. It's just a shame that the operator system means a lot of people won't get to experience that. And it has nothing to do with the writing team. Game designers, fix this shit pronto. But hey, with every great zombies map also comes a lot of great side content. But what else is there to do here? Well, for one, we've got a Dempsey side Easter egg, which actually has a cool cutscene and a lot more lore adding onto his character and adding some cool, interesting dynamics between him and Weaver, and you even get some loot there afterwards. We got another similar Easter egg that you can do with any character, where it teleports you again to this unique area on the map, but there's a secret Easter egg to this Easter egg, where if you kill the bear here with a knife, you can get a permanent double points on your melee. Yeah. Kinda awesome. And something that I had talked about way earlier on in this video is the Toxic Growth Pods Easter egg. This is insane. And also, while I'm talking about this, I gotta say that this map has made me actually switch up my field upgrade multiple times, which I've never had to do in any other zombies map. I use Toxic Growth here for these early game Easter egg steps, Frenzy Guard for some of the defense steps in the Easter egg, Ether Shroud for others, and even Healing Aura there in the boss fight if I'm playing co-op, because man, they can wreck your teammates. Yeah, this Easter egg is basically, you know, the pods from Shadows of Evil. Basically, you get a Fumigator like that and you can grow them, do it pretty much once per round per location, and get some pretty decent loot. But if you use Toxic Growth on top of that, it puts it on crack. You get high rarity ether tools, free guns, free perks, monkey bombs, and even pack crystals up to tier 3 I've gotten before. This is probably one of the best side Easter eggs we've ever had in Zombies history. But another one I had also mentioned before is the Soda Fountain Easter egg, which can actually go above the 4 perk limit. And this involves you having to go around the map picking up different ingredients to craft different perk recipes to get a free perk there in the diner. Not only is this cool and it's useful, it also gave me and any of my friends that I've had do it a good laugh there, just taking a big old gulp at a soda cup. And I genuinely didn't think this was real. I thought this was a shit post when I first saw this. We've got some other cool ones like the Spooky Wisp Tea Ghost Girl one, which is nice there because Wisp Tea is needed there for the main quest. There's a fun one there throwing some axes at some targets. And we also got another race one here with an RCXD race. And hey, that's just another fun one. Love that they've been doing stuff like this recently. Truly, this map, paired with the core gameplay we have here in Curse Mode, is what I believe to be one of the best zombies maps we've ever gotten. That is coming from somebody who considers maybe 1 or 2 modern zombies maps there after Black Ops 4 as an A tier at the highest. It's really that good. And so here we are. We've covered a ton of the incredibly good and also a ton of the indefensibly bad. But we gotta answer that question. Is it worth it? I'm sure you can see and answer that for yourself by watching, but as a lifelong fan of zombies ever since the days of World at War, I've got some things to say and I need to answer that for myself. It is incredibly disappointing to see this experience come after the letdown of Black Ops 6 Zombies, as it's better in every single conceivable way by a large margin. Yes, there's modern zombies mechanics. Yes, it's not perfect, but man, it might genuinely be the most complete and enjoyable experience we've ever had. I truly believe if this continues throughout the rest of this year at this quality, which it seems like it's going to, this will be the new peak of COD Zombies, surpassing the days of Black Ops 3. But again, it's sad that so many won't get to experience that. We're coming after Black Ops 6. 2 Black Ops games in a row that are at the end of a long line of dogshit decisions and long-term franchise burnout that caused the best zombies mode in the past decade to be cast alongside a game that's being review bombed and boycotted for having a horrible campaign. The amount of nonsense, hypocritical videos I've seen slamming zombies in this game just because it's a part of Black Ops 7 is ridiculous. Complaining on like the new DLC 1 map that any longtime actual fan of COD Zombies would tell you looks phenomenal, saying, oh, it's just not realistic, as if in fucking Black Ops 1 we didn't blow up the earth and then Richtofen swap souls with a literal child in a pyramid. Also, yeah, might I add that people always point to Black Ops 3 as the best in the series. In the trailers we've gotten are the most BO3 coded shit I've ever seen in my life. Whether it's rage bait or just done for views to hop on the trend of hating on Black Ops 7, all it does is spread this false narrative around that the zombies mode is so much worse than it actually is. And it also doesn't help when we've got these big outlets like IGN also throwing some nonsense out there that just, they don't even understand what makes zombies zombies. There's so many casual fans that are just never going to experience how great this zombies mode is because of the overall hate on this game. And there's so many creators out there who would otherwise normally be positive that are finding a way to milk this game dry because it's bringing in the big bucks right now. And this is why I'm making this very video, to show you the truth here so that you can look past all the bullshit and see the game for what it's really like. And yeah, there's some bad parts here. And if you feel like it's still not worth it, I totally get it, and I'm glad to have finally laid everything out for you so you can have a genuine, clear picture of what this game is really like. But for those of you who may have fallen to the onslaught of relentless hate on this game, I hope that now you can truly see what the game is actually like and make a decision for yourself. But I gotta say, to you longtime Zombies fans, if you're anyone like me, speaking from me to you, this game at launch is already the best we've had in years, and it seems like it's just gonna keep going. Taking a look at Astra Melorum, there was Season 1, a planetarium atop a floating skull in outer space, okay, with one of the top 3 intro cutscenes we've ever had for any map in Zombies history. New enemy that looks straight out of Zombies in Spaceland, a UFO wonder weapon, mule kick its back, and it's insane, allows you to pack multiple guns with 1 pack-a-punch, and having discounted perk prices. We're gonna have 6 brand new relics to discover there as well, and we even have the OG pack-a-punch, and likely the jingle there as well. And damn, it just makes me so happy. Here's the truth. If you're buying the game for the campaign, don't do it. If you're interested in the multiplayer, it's actually pretty solid in my opinion, but if you're thinking on buying it for zombies, I've already spent most of my time there in this mode, and I feel after spending $70 on this game, it has been well worth the money, and has been one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had in a very long time. And it's been so good that it's turned my once dwindling hope on the future of this mode completely around. To the team at Treyarch, if you somehow are seeing this, thank you. This game is beyond what I expected, and yeah, I got my problems that I also hope are addressed there in the near future, but I can already tell that this game is a labor of love for our community. You can tell the passion that just oozes out of every single part of this game, except for the menu. I've had the biggest grin on my face every single day since launch hopping into this game. I genuinely feel addicted to zombies just like I used to back in the day. I can confirm after finally playing Black Ops 7, COD Zombies is finally back. But hey, I'm also curious, what are your thoughts on Black Ops 7 Zombies? And what do you consider the best and worst parts of the game? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, after this, if you're wanting more COD Zombies content, why not check out my ranking series where I dive into the best and worst changes in COD Zombies history. And well, that's about it for me. See ya.